I was physically present at my younger daughter's second birthday party, but I wasn't really there. My mind was somewhere else. My emotions were checked out. I was just going through the motions. And she will never remember it, but I will. Hello, I'm Dr. Felix Boecker, and today we're talking about parenting as a physician. The guilt, the missed moments, the struggle to be present, and the strategies that actually work. Stay until the end for practical, actionable tips you can implement today. Welcome to In Search of 42. Here's the reality of parenting as a physician. You have limited time. You're exhausted when you do have time. You miss important moments. You feel guilty constantly. Your kids grow up faster than you realize, and you cannot get that time back. That's the hard truth. But here's the other truth. You can still be a good parent. You can still raise healthy, happy kids. You can still have meaningful relationships with your children. It just requires intentionality. It requires strategy. It requires accepting that you cannot do everything perfectly. And it requires being present when you are there, even when it's hard, even when you're exhausted, even when your mind wants to be somewhere else. Today, I'm going to share what I have learned from parenting as a physician, from 2 divorces, from a blended family, from mistakes I have made, from moments I have missed, and from strategies that actually work. Because parenting as a physician is possible, but you have to be intentional about it. Let me tell you about my parenting reality. I have 2 kids from my first marriage. My fiance has 2 kids from her previous relationships. 4 kids total between us. I get my kids on Fridays and return them to their mom on Sundays, every weekend. During the week, I try to be present for special events or school activities as much as possible. But it's not always possible. Sometimes work interferes. Sometimes schedules conflict. Sometimes I just can't be there. My fiance has a similar arrangement with her kids, so our household is constantly changing. Sometimes we have all 4 kids. Sometimes we just have my 2 or just her 2. Sometimes we have one from each. Sometimes we're alone. It's chaotic, it's complicated, it's exhausting, and it requires constant communication and planning. This is the reality of parenting as a divorced physician with a blended family. It's not ideal. It's not what I imagined when I became a parent, but it's what I have, and I make it work. Let me be honest about something. Divorce has been hard on my kids, for sure. They didn't ask for this. They didn't choose to have their parents split up. They didn't choose to live in 2 houses. They didn't choose to have to pack a bag every week. And blending families is not easy. Not for them, not for us. My kids and my fiance's kids are still figuring out how to be a family. It's a work in progress. My kids and I even started a podcast together. We called it Sweet and Sour Conversations with Daddy. We talked mostly about their lives, their struggles with living in divided households, what it's like for them, what they need, what they feel. The kids still want to bring it back again, and we might, but they always have stuff going on weekends now. Dance, activities, birthday parties, so it's been hard to make the time for it. But that podcast was valuable. It gave them a voice. It let me hear what they were experiencing. It created space for difficult conversations, and I wish we did more of it. Do I feel guilty about the time I cannot give to my kids? Yes, absolutely. I feel guilty sometimes, but this is the life I've built, and it's what I have to deal with. The guilt doesn't help anyone. So I acknowledge it. And then I focus on what I can control, which is being present when I am with them, making the time count, making up for what I've missed. But here's something I've realized. Even the moments I was physically present for, I wasn't always mentally or emotionally present. My mind being somewhere else, thinking about work, thinking about a patient, thinking about a case, mentally checked out. Let me give you an example. My younger daughter's second birthday party. I was there, physically present, but I wasn't really there. I was mentally checked out from my relationship with my ex-wife. I was going through the motions, smiling for the photos, singing happy birthday, but emotionally absent. I didn't think much of it in the moment because my daughter was so young. I didn't think she would remember the party anyways, and she hasn't. But I remember. I remember not being present. I remember being there, but not really being there. And that's worse than missing the event entirely. Because at least if you miss it, you can make it up. But if you're there and not present, you can't get that back. It's important to recognize it in the first place, admit it, and then make up for it. That's what I try to do now. When I realize I wasn't present, I acknowledge it. I apologize, and I make time to be fully present later. So, what do we do when we have time together? What counts as quality time? Well, we enjoy building furniture together, building Lego, working with our hands, creating something. That's how we connect. We also used to make podcasts together, as I mentioned, sweet and sour conversations with Daddy. Those were some of my favorite times, just talking, listening to their experiences, giving them space to express themselves. I want to bring that back someday. Sometimes it's these simple things: watching a movie together, playing a game, going for a walk, eating a meal together. The activity itself doesn't matter as much as the presence. Are you actually there? Are you paying attention? Are you engaged? Or are you on your phone, thinking about work, mentally somewhere else? That's what matters. Quality time isn't about elaborate activities. It's about being present, fully present with your kids. Here's a real challenge. How do you show up for your kids when you're depleted from work, when you're exhausted, when you have nothing left to give, but your kids need you? Here's what works for me: caffeine. Honestly, coffee gets me through a lot of parenting moments, taking a break before the big event. If I know I have to be present for something important, I try to rest first, even if it's just 20 minutes, even if it's just sitting in my car in silence, but something to transition. Clearing your head of any mental distractions as much as possible. This is the hardest part: actively pushing work thoughts out of your mind, choosing to be present. It's a choice. Every time you have to choose to show up, to be present, to engage, even when you're exhausted, even when you'd rather zone out. Your kids deserve that. And honestly, being present with them often gives me energy. It reminds me why I work so hard. It reminds me what matters. It's grounding. So, yes, it's hard. Yes, it requires effort, but it's worth it. Do my kids understand why I'm not always available? Well, they know that I'm a doctor and they see that doctors work a lot. So they understand in their own little ways. But understanding doesn't mean it doesn't hurt them. Understanding doesn't mean they don't wish I was there more. They have both said they don't want to become doctors, and that's perfectly fine with me. Actually, it makes me happy because they have seen what this career does. They have seen the toll it takes. They have seen the time it consumes. And they have decided they don't want that for themselves. They don't know what they want to do yet. They're too young to decide that. But I am excited to see what they will eventually choose for themselves. And I tell them, chase your dreams, whatever fuels your fire. I don't care what you do as long as you are good people and care about others. That's what matters to me. Not their career choice, not their income, not their prestige, just that they're good people, that they care about others, that they find something that brings them meaning. So, what do you do when you miss something? When you simply can't be there? When work interferes? I always make up for time lost. That's important. What does that look like? Well, first, a thorough apology. Not just sorry, but actually acknowledging that I missed. I'm sorry I missed your game. I know that was important to you. I wanted to be there. A clear explanation, age appropriate, of course, but honest. I had to work. A patient needed me. I couldn't leave. Or something like, I made a mistake. I should have prioritized better. That's on me. Because honesty matters. Kids can tell when you're being real with them. And then rescheduling, making dedicated time to make up for what I missed. Let's go do something special this weekend. Just you and me. Tell me about your game. I want to hear every detail. Show me what you did. Walk me through it. It's not the same as being there. I know that. They know that. But it shows that I care, that I notice, that they matter to me. And that's better than nothing. Let me talk about the specific challenges of parenting in a blended family because it adds another layer of complexity. The biggest challenge? Making sure everyone feels like a welcome member of the family. That's hard because there's natural allegiance to your own kids, and the other kids can feel that. They can sense when they're not a priority. So it requires a lot of communication and a lot of one on one time with each kid. Not just group time, but individual time where each kid feels seen, feels heard, feels important. My fiance and I have a rule. We are not expected to be parents to the other person's children. Yes, we are adults and have that authority, but we are not their parents. What does that mean practically? We each make the rules for our children and respect whatever is decided upon. When one of my fiance's kids, for example, comes to me to ask for something, I refer them to her as the authority. That's a question for your mom. And she does the same with my kids. Ask your dad. We don't undermine each other, but we also don't try to replace the other parent. That's been key because trying to be the parent creates resentment from the kids, from the actual parent, from everyone. So, yes, we're the adults in the house. We have expectations and rules, but we're not trying to be mom or dad to kids who already have a mom and a dad. That's the balance. Here's something critical though. Kids have to at least feel like they are important. Not just to you, but in general. They need to feel heard. They need to feel understood. They need to feel valued. So make them feel heard and understood. How? Well, you listen to them. Actually, listen. Not just waiting for your turn to talk, not just half listening while you check your phone, but actually listening, asking questions, being curious about their lives, their thoughts, their feelings, their struggles, validating their experiences. That sounds really hard. I can see why you would feel that way. That makes sense. You don't have to fix everything. Sometimes they just need to be heard, and they need to see you taking care of yourself too. It's important to demonstrate through actions what good self care looks like. Because if you aren't at your best for yourself, you for sure aren't at your best for anyone else. Kids learn by watching. If they see you neglecting yourself, burning out, sacrificing everything for work, that's what they will learn. But if they see you setting boundaries, taking care of your health, making time for yourself, they learn that too. So model what you want them to learn. When physician parents come to me for coaching, here's what I tell them. Strategy 1, schedule it. Schedule time with your kids. Put it on the calendar like you would any other important appointment and protect that time. Don't let work take it. Don't let other obligations take it. Protect it fiercely. Strategy 2, be fully present. When you're with your kids, be with your kids. Not on your phone, not thinking about work, not mentally somewhere else, but actually present. This is the hardest part, but it's the most important. Strategy 3, quality over quantity. You might not have a lot of time, but make the time you have count. Fully engaged time beats distracted time every time. Strategy 4, communication is key. Talk to your kids about your work. Help them understand why you're not always available. But also listen to how it affects them. Create space for those conversations. Strategy 5, make up for what you miss. When you miss something, acknowledge it, apologize, explain, and then reschedule. Don't just let it go. Strategy 6, get your partner involved. If you have a partner, they need to be an active participant. You cannot do this alone. Share the load and support each other. Strategy 7, lower your standards. Your house doesn't have to be perfect. Your kids don't have to do every activity. You don't have to be Pinterest perfect. Good enough is good enough. Strategy 8, take care of yourself. You cannot pour from an empty cup. You have to take care of yourself so you can show up for your kids. That's not selfish. That's necessary. So here's the question everyone asks. Can you be a good parent and a good physician? My answer, yes, it's possible. But it requires dedication and careful planning, and it requires accepting that you cannot do both perfectly. Something always has to give. You miss work events because of kids. You miss kid events because of work. You're exhausted all the time. You feel guilty all the time. That's the reality. But you can be good at both. Good enough at both. If you are intentional, if you prioritize, if you set boundaries, if you're present when you are present. That's the balance. Not perfection, but just good enough. And good enough is actually pretty good. If I could do it over again, what would I do differently? Well, for one, I would have had kids later, when my life was more settled and steady, when I was further in my career, when I had more control over my schedule, when I was in a stable relationship. Having kids adds a whole new dimension to life. If you can, wait until your life is settled and steady. Otherwise, you just have to deal with it as it comes as best as possible. And that's what I have done. I've dealt with it as best as I can. But it would have been easier if I had waited. The other thing, I wouldn't choose medicine again as a career. Knowing what I know now about balancing medicine and parenting, knowing the toll it takes, knowing the time it steals, knowing the exhaustion it creates, I would choose something else. Something with more flexibility, something with more control, something that doesn't consume everything. And that's the honest truth. One more challenge worth mentioning: maintaining extended family connections when you're a busy physician. My parents are in Germany. My kids are here in the US. That's hard, but we make it work. Modern video conferencing makes it possible. They do regular video calls. The kids talk to their grandparents. They maintain that connection. It's not the same as being there in person, but it's something, and it matters. If you have family far away, use technology. Make it a regular thing. Put it on the schedule. Your kids need those connections even if it's virtual. Let me give you some practical tips you can implement today. Tip 1, schedule 1 uninterrupted hour with each kid this week. Just 1 hour. No phone, no work, just you and them. Doing something they want to do. Tip 2, put a recurring calendar block for family time. Every week, same time, protected and non-negotiable. Tip 3, create a transition ritual between work and home. Something that helps you shift from doctor mode to parent mode. Change clothes, take a walk, sit in your car for 5 minutes, but something that signals the transition. Tip 4, ask your kids one meaningful question today. Not how was school, but something deeper. What was the best part of your day? What's something you're worried about? What's something you're excited about? And then actually listen to the answer. Tip 5, apologize for a specific time you weren't present. Even if it was months ago, acknowledge it. Let them know you noticed. Let them know it mattered. Tip 6, make a list of 3 things you can say no to this month to create more time for your kids. Extra committee work, extra shifts, extra obligations, but say no to something. Tip 7, have a conversation with your partner about sharing the load. Be specific. Who does what? When? How can you support each other better? And tip 8, model self-care this week. Do something for yourself in front of your kids. Let them see you taking care of yourself. Exercising, reading, pursuing a hobby. Show them what balance looks like. These are small things, but they add up. They make a difference. So start today. If you're a physician parent and you're in crisis right now, if you feel like you're failing at everything, if you haven't seen your kids in days, if you can't remember the last time you were present, if the guilt is consuming you, here's what I want you to do. First, stop and assess. What's actually wrong? Is it your schedule? Is it your job? Is it your relationship? Is it burnout? You can't fix it if you don't know what's broken. 2, have a conversation with your kids, age appropriate, of course. I know I haven't been around much. I'm sorry, that's going to change. Or with your partner, I need help. I cannot do this alone. Maybe with your boss or administrator, hey, I need to adjust my schedule. But have the conversations. 3, make 1 change this week. Not 10 changes, just 1. 1 boundary, 1 protected time block, 1 no to something. Start there. 4, get support, therapy, coaching, parenting groups, other physician parents. You are not alone in this struggle. Find your people. 5, give yourself grace. You're not going to be perfect. You're going to miss things. You're going to mess up. And that's okay. You're human. Your kids need a real human parent, not a perfect one. Here's what I want you to know. Parenting as a physician is hard. Really hard. You will miss moments. You will feel guilty. You will be exhausted. You will wonder if you're screwing up your kids. That's all normal. But you can still be a good parent. You can still raise healthy, happy kids. You can still have meaningful relationships with your children. It just requires intentionality, being present when you're there, scheduling and protecting time, communication with your kids, making up for what you miss, taking care of yourself, and giving yourself grace. Your kids don't need a perfect parent. They need a present parent. They need a parent who shows up, who listens, who cares, who tries, even when it's hard, even when you're exhausted, even when you feel like you're failing. Just keep showing up. Keep trying, keep being present. That's enough. That's more than enough. I have not been a perfect parent. I have missed moments. I've been physically present but mentally absent. I have let work consume me. I've made mistakes, but I'm still trying. I'm still showing up. I'm still being intentional. And my kids know I love them. They know I'm trying. They know they matter to me. That's what counts. Not perfection, just presence, just trying, just showing up. Your kids need that. Not a perfect parent, just you, present, trying, showing up. That's enough. This is In Search of 42. I'm Dr. Felix Boecker, and you are doing better than you think. If this episode resonated with you, hit that like button and subscribe. Leave a comment about your experience as a parent, as a physician. What's working for you? What are you struggling with? What strategies have helped? And if you need support with parenting or anything else, reach out. That's what I do here at successWerk. I help physicians build sustainable careers and sustainable lives, including being present parents. Let me know what you want me to cover next, and I will see you in the next episode.